Hey up, Sofa Squad, and we are live with the latest edition of On the Sofa 68. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, you can, and your name will be added to the two patrons, Greg Hartwig and African Humanist, who are scrolling along the bottom of the screen. And if you want to buy my book, Surviving 2020, you can. And the details of how to do so is in the description. Okay. Hey up, Will.
How's it going? How's it going? Do you know, I am
Yeah.
so easily distracted by my phone.
And
So,
we've got Greg and the
sorry.
side chat and the Lebanon lady as well.
Hello.
And
Do you know, I was so distracted by your picture of Matt Hancock. And I'm gonna say this more politely. Was that poop? Was he covered in poop? You couldn't pay me enough to go out to the middle of Australia to eat a dingo's anus and be covered in poop and crawl through spider webs just to be on television. I'm sorry.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, you could not pay me enough either. I mean, he had to eat a camel's penis. I think a goat's vagina. I think a cow's anus. I think it was, and he got covered in treacle, and he did another challenge where he had to put his hand in carrion, rotting animal flesh to get into the stars. Yeah.
So as someone who works at a ranch, I can smell everything that you just said right now.
And thanks to Purple, who has tried to send the audience over here as we wrapped up on his channel. The Leather lady is saying, I finally got to one of these. Purple is saying, I only eat vagina of my own species, and only when it's still alive and squirt.
I have a serious question for you for the chat. Could you guys go on Fear Factor? Could you be on I'm a Celebrity? Get me out of here. I couldn't. I'm sorry. There's not enough money that you could pay me to trap me somewhere.
I don't think I could. No. I don't know. Maybe for 10 million. But it'd have to be written into my contract that it goes into my bank accounts no matter what. Whether I win or lose, 10 million straight into my bank account.
I get easily ill, so I would need some of that for my hospital bills.
Yeah. But for financial security for me and my family, yeah. But I mean, I would have to draw the line somewhere. I'm not quite sure where the line would be drawn, but for 10 million, I think I could. Yeah,
because I would go on what is that show, Ninja Warrior, where you go through an obstacle course? I would do that. I'm out of shape.
But, so am I. Yeah.
I would do something like that rather than, I'm not a reality show type though. Like if I got a call from Dr. Phil or something, I would hang up the phone.
10 million lira. That's what? $1.98. And
I agree with Purple. She's spot on. No.
I couldn't do it, but it isn't even about the challenges. I couldn't handle the artificial social situation. I've been stuck with a bunch of people not allowed to walk out. You are allowed to walk out. You're allowed to say, I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here.
That is literally how they quit.
I mean,
and you know, I said it last week. The in the UK, the media spoils it because everyone who comes home, they interview them on the tarmac.
Yeah.
It's like, look, like I already know who's being sent home and everything. And let me tell you, in a weird way, Matt Hancock has won because I'm an American and I'm paying attention to a show that's not even geared towards me.
Yeah.
It doesn't get aired in America, but I have a VPN. So, but my whole point is like, and I really wasn't into the show because in the UK, you guys have a lot of reality shows.
We do, yeah.
More than most people realize.
Yeah. On a serious note, Matt Hancock, he should not be allowed to whitewash his reputation. Because let's face it, this is what this is all about. I just want some forgiveness. Oh, fuck off.
And like I said last week, it's not like a celebrity. Like I'm against the kangaroo court of the public. Okay. Yeah, but people apologize all the time. It's not like he cheated on. Well, he did. Let me find something he did. God, he is a scumbag. He's an all-around scumbag.
Yeah.
It's not like he's apologizing for some discretion he did in his personal life. He ruined people's lives.
Yeah.
He's a little bit different than somebody who was on Big Brother.
Yeah.
He literally told people not to go in their house. Hey, Artie.
Oh, shit, I was afraid I wouldn't look cool.
He was literally telling people to not leave their homes and not see their nan pass away, you know?
Yeah.
You couldn't get me in the same room as like no, you couldn't build if he was in charge of the COVID rules. See, but where I'm from was a little bit different. But no, I wouldn't be able to be in the same room with that man or island.
Let's not forget, he sent the elderly people into care homes without getting them tested. So then they spread COVID to not just the elderly but disabled, people as well.
This is the former health minister
people
on some game TV thing.
Yeah. We're talking about Matt Hancock being on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Is there a D in his last name?
His real name is Wet Mancock, but he switched it to Matt Hancock.
Limp Mancock. I got
it. But have you seen I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here? Brain sample.
No.
But the premise.
I was too busy taking off into space earlier.
It's a UK show, so it's not necessarily broadcast in America. Like
not necessarily. It's absolutely not.
I have a VPN, so like I watch stuff from Canada. It's not that snooty. It cost me like $4.
Here I am paying 10 to not ads on YouTube.
I think it's really someone's Netflix code I paid for, or they just have like every subscription known to man.
Speaking of, I love the fact that that D has grandkids because I got Disney, I got Paramount, I got codes for all that shit.
Yeah. But basically, the premise of I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here is that kind of has been celebrities. They placed them in the Australian outback, and they're camping. They're all camping together, and they've all got to do these bush tucker trials where they have to eat kangaroo penis and dingo anus.
I'm familiar with the concept.
Yeah. And
but they literally eat an anus of something in every season. It's weird. I see you. I see you.
I have a story if you're interested about eating some anus.
but Matt Hancock has been voted to do these Bush Tucker challenges every night, basically. But we were just saying he's on there to try to whitewash his reputation and to get some forgiveness. But
yeah, that's like the showing up on Dancing with Rudy fucking Giuliani shows up on Dancing with the Stars. Come on.
Also,
He should be on Suicide Watch, not a TV show.
Yeah.
Well, Rudy is a sociopath because he was also on what is that, The Masked Singer, as well.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know that is
He's
because of
popular,
Twitter.
and there's somebody somewhere that keeps putting him on television only because they know he's a fucking train wreck.
No, but in America, it's funny that you would use that word because I was literally just about to say in America we exploit train wrecks.
Yeah.
Like if you're the bigger, come on, let's all be real. Like there are some YouTubers that I watch because they're a mess. They are a literal human walking train wreck, and I'm like, wow. And I watch them. We love a good mess here in the UK and in America.
One of them shows up in one of my videos way back. And she ended up on some other things that were way more popular. But what she's known for from my videos is, do dogs have brains?
Oh, I think I saw that one. Yeah. But,
I got accused of sexism because I included a clip of somebody with enormous breastises filming herself as she says, "Do dogs have brains?" You're right. That's my problem. That's my sexism. It's sexism. It's not a fucking idiot that filmed themselves saying something stupid. It's that I'm a misogynist.
No, we were saying Tobin Templeman had a live stream earlier today, and I was in the chat, and it was about offensive things and being offended. No matter what you do in today's world, you're gonna offend somebody. Do you know this giant chin and my beautiful teeth, all 14 of them, offend everybody? And at this point, I don't even know why anymore. And it's okay. No matter what you do, you're gonna offend someone on the internet.
Yeah, I have deep and profound love for my Jewish friends and my trans friends. But Dave Chappelle on Saturday Night Live was hysterical. That monologue was one of the funniest things I've ever seen on fucking TV.
I'm not a Dave Chappelle fan. I don't even watch Saturday Night Live. I haven't watched Saturday Night Live in like 20
I would
years.
watch it for the cultural influence and the fact that he's getting shit, but he prefaced everything he said with the setup that, if you were paying attention, changes everything that you think about what he just said. He talks before he starts talking about anything. Well, not anything. It's mid fucking thing, but he says if you see a group of black men together, it's a gang. If you see a group of, I can't remember what his second.
I know what you're saying. I actually did see that clip on because of Twitter again.
He's setting up the fact that he's about to lay a huge fucking stereotype on you, and everybody got mad at him for missing that part of it.
Purple saying that my hoodie is lining up almost perfectly with the background image.
The only problem I have with Dave Chappelle is that he has been promoted and propped up by everything he's ever talking trash about. So everything that he talks about, he literally because Dave Chappelle was in television in the late 80s and the 90s. He was in a bunch of failed TV shows. You should go look it up. Like, he's a part of the very Hollywood that he's talking trash about.
Yeah.
And Kate Burley loves you. Kate Burley loves you too, Stool. As the official curator of the Kay Burley Museum.
The great thing about Dave Chappelle well, in this particular part of his life is that who gave him what was his first break? When was the first time you saw him in Hollywood?
He was on a bunch of failed shows in the late 80s and early 90s.
The first thing.
I can't remember the show.
It was Mel Brooks.
Ah,
He was in Robin Hood Men in Tights.
of course.
Yeah, he was.
That was the first break he got from anybody. And there was no one more Jewish than Mel fucking Brooks.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Saying, though, because there's a new narrative that everyone's trying to feed into, and they're rallying behind Dave Chappelle, and he is everything that they're talking trash about.
He does set himself up to be used as an excuse, but what he has to say is separate from what they're saying about him to use him.
I agree with you. You know what? I'm going to tell it to you like this. He's like Chick-fil-A. I just avoid it. I've never been to Chick-fil-A before. I'm okay. We have Popeyes, Church's Chicken. We have all kinds. I live in LA, so we have.
I agree with you right up to the fact that I don't like Chick-fil-A.
I have never, and it's not even because of politics. Well, it kind of is. A long time ago, I asked my mom. My mom and I are friends, and I asked her. I said, "Have you ever been to Chick-fil-A?" She was like, "Yeah, I had," but she has this weird thing about drive-thru, so she always goes in, and she said the guy was praying over my mom. And I was like, okay, I will never effing walk into, and it's been years since she told me that story. I've never been to a Chick-fil-A. Never.
I stopped buying Domino's pizza in the 90s because the guy that owns it was already one of the greatest donors to anti-abortion legislation. So
I want more food and less
my money for that bullshit.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, I would like more food and less politics. I don't go to Hobby Lobby anymore. I don't want to know what you spend my money on. I just want to buy a patch and go home.
If they're giving equal
We
amount
don't
of
have
political
Chick-fil-A.
parties, that's not giving any money, and I'm fine with it.
But we don't have Chick-fil-A here in the UK.
You're fine. You should be fine with that. KFC is so much better than Chick-fil-A.
They're just like I'm not going to feed into your alt-right agenda. If you're in today's America, people are blatant about it, and I actually appreciate it. I'll just avoid them. Scream.
One of my videos actually brings up is it Chick-fil-A on the East Coast and Chick-fil-A on the West Coast?
But talking of alt-right, the orange one has he's thrown his hat into the ring for the second time. The orange shit gibbon, and
after getting his ass kicked not even a week ago.
Oh, Chick-fil-A tried to open in the UK. They were met with protests before they opened.
Very
The
famous.
entire division lasted less than 9 months. Okay, that's interesting.
Hey, Skid Scratcher, very famously, they didn't last 9 months. Very famously.
Yeah.
And the fact that didn't make it to 9 months is.
See, but that's the difference. Like
It didn't survive the entire 9-month gestation period.
And I find it funny because like I hang out in the Black LGBTQIA plus community, and they talk about it all the time. And it's either I've never been to Chick-fil-A or Chick-fil-A is the greatest thing on earth.
Yeah, well,
in America, if it tastes good, people are willing to go past their principles.
the first time I had it, I was like, this is amazing. And I have never once repeated that sensation. It's never been good since then. I don't think their waffle fries are especially great. And all of it tastes like bigotry to me, so I'm just not willing to pay.
Well, the new thing is inflation is so high. I refuse to pay restaurant prices for fast food. So I've actually stepped it up, and I've been eating like some really fancy restaurants in my hometown because they've lowered their prices.
Yep.
And it's the same price as fast food. It's literally the same price.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely with you, except Taco Bell breaks that. Taco Bell still fucking cheap. Taco Bell to fill yourself up, Taco Bell is still $3 cheaper than everybody else.
No, where I live is Disneyland prices everywhere.
Yeah.
I live in the land of inflation. Like whenever I take my Vegas
I
trips,
live way closer to Disneyland than you do.
everything is high priced here.
I'm the one that had the dog that barked at the fireworks every fucking night.
I have there's actually an amusement park by my house, and we have that problem. But because of the fires, they only do it once or twice a year now.
Every night it was Disneyland, and every weekend it was Disneyland and the Berry Farm.
Mm.
I miss that place. I miss that place so much. On a quick side note, Knott's Berry Farm has become so violent that if you are under 18, you are not allowed to go with an adult. And it's sad because they have really good food there. Let's go back to the UK.
It was getting sketchy when I was there in 92.
Yeah, but I hung out with a bunch of people that, like, I used to go there in 92.
I saw Gallagher there in 92.
You know, I just recently heard that he passed.
Did he?
Today, on Tobin's stream, I heard that Gallagher.
Him or his brother?
It was Gallagher.
Yeah.
I looked it up. Google, unfortunately, Google confirmed it.
But Trump, can excuse me. Trump, can he win?
Okay. So if you'd asked me a month ago, I would have been scared. But the election proved that mathematically speaking, there's no way Trump can win. Because he's going to split the already half that he has. So, no. And I'm not even saying that, like, arrogantly. It's just, it comes down to
I am absolutely anticipating that he will Ralph Nader the GOP.
Yep.
And in fact, it'll be so much worse than it was with Ralph Nader, because Ralph Nader just cost the Democrats the vote by 2 or 3%. And I think, I think Cheeseface will probably take considerably more than 2 or 3% away from Republicans.
Hey, but shout out to London LaRouche and Ralph Nader for running forever. They were always on the ballot. No, but Trump is about to drop. This is 100% self-sabotage.
He's doing exactly what he did the first time. He doesn't care if he wins. He gets to keep all of the campaign money that he doesn't spend. That's why he's doing it.
And that's another, like a month ago, I was like, man, I hope he doesn't run. And a week ago, I was like, I hope that MFer runs. I hope that punk runs. I hope he does. He's going to destroy his party. As long as the Democrats vote down the line, they're going to win from now on for a long time, because they're eating the Republicans are eating their own right now.
Yeah,
all those people.
Respectfully, I hope Mr. Biden is willing to select somebody to follow him.
But that's another problem that the Democratic Party has too. What shrub are they going to put up? Kamala Harris, and I'm going to say this, and I've said it a million times, she is worse than Trump. She is worse than Trump. Come at me. She is.
There's a gay guy from Indiana that would do really well.
I've never heard of him. I'll vote for him. Just don't put Kamala Harris up there. That is just a road to destruction.
You have heard of him. You just don't realize that.
Why? What's your beef with Kamala Harris?
Secretary of Transportation right now.
In California, she was caught. First off, if you were LGBTQIA plus, she would give you extra time. Her record shows this.
Okay.
She was. Black trans women are under duress in America. In California, I'm not quoting statistics. It's just, I would say at least one black trans woman gets shot every day here where I live. Okay, it's an epidemic. It was even worse during Kamala Harris's reign. If you were a black trans person, she would literally give you extra time just for being yourself. Okay. Kamala Harris also, for some reason, she put more black men in jail than George Bush Jr. when he was governor of Texas. Right. And spoiler, George Bush Jr. killed more people than anyone in Texas history as far as being governor.
Yeah, he was a big fan of the death penalty.
He would kill him and grill him.
I heard that. Yeah.
Kamala Harris is a Democrat by name only.
Somebody posted a poll on Twitter today. Do you agree with me that Trump was the worst U.S. president? I think they said ever, which is stupid. But even in my lifetime, the worst U.S. president is G.W. Bush. There is no question that George W. Bush cost the middle class more lives and cash than anyone in my lifetime.
And he also, people like it makes me laugh that the Republican Party cries about immigration. George Bush opened our borders to bring people here to work. And everybody forgets that because during the Iraqi war, there was a really famous quote when he said, I'm trying to protect the sovereignty of Iraq. And a reporter was like, wait a minute, you can't even protect the sovereignty of America's borders, you know? So the Republican Party literally created the problem and now they're crying about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm with you, Purple.
Kamala Harris just she's the dictator type.
Pete Buttigieg.
You don't
is the gay guy from Indiana that would make an excellent president.
And people forget that, like in America, our what would be considered our left party would be considered conservative in other countries.
Yeah, most.
Our lefties are not. We're not as lefty as we think we are.
Our left-wing extremists are still left-wing extremists.
Yeah, but they would be considered right-wing extremists, like in the UK or
no right-wing extremist is tying themselves to a tree that they set on fire.
Well, right now in the UK, they're throwing so much Campbell's soup at paintings, I wouldn't sell it to anyone under 30. I'm serious. If I owned a shop and some kid walked in, I'd be like, how old are you? No, you can't buy Campbell's soup. Get out of here, you hippie.
Why aren't they waxing the canvases at this point? I don't understand why there isn't at least that protective layer on those shit. Come on.
Yeah.
Goes a long way.
Purple saying DeSantis made a big PR stunt of sending immigrants away, and after the hurricane hit, he was begging immigrants to return to Florida and help rebuild.
Yeah, no, he's going to take a lot of hits trying to run against Trump, and it's funny because he's going to be forced to attack Trump for the lies, and I'm not sure how that plays out for Republicans.
What the truth? La verdad es un canse. For all my English speaking friends, the truth hurts. The truth hurts.
Is Trump going to destroy the GOP?
Yes, I hope he does. I hope he does.
Yeah,
He's such a. I hope he does. I hope that egotistical piece of garbage runs to the very end.
Yeah, the damage he's done to the country is generational. The damage he does to the GOP should be at least that.
And at least Ralph Nader had policy.
Yeah, and his everything about what he did was based on empathy and care. He was a bit of a zealot. But by the time he ran for president, that kind of gone away.
I'm not
too young to know. He is the one that realized that the Ford Pinto would explode into a ball of fire when you hit it from the rear when the right turn signal was on. That's Ralph Nader's accomplishment as a human being, is the amount of lives that he saved and the amount of money he cost Lee Iacocca and the Ford company.
Yeah.
Do you know, I still see Pintos, and that's the first thing I think of every time I see one.
You know what I don't see? I swear this is true. I made a note of it when I was still in high school in the 80s that I never saw. Used to be that the rural postal delivery people drove Pintos because they were cheap to make them right-wheel drive. So they didn't drive the same thing that most postal delivery people drove. They drove Pintos, and they never used the right turn signal. That was the failure that caused the fires. So if you got rear-ended when you didn't have the right turn signal on, your gas tank would leak, but it wouldn't ignite.
Yeah.
They never used them.
Anyway, back to British politics.
Yeah, because Trump, honestly, it's depressing, but not as depressing because mathematically speaking, he's not going to win. As long as the Democrats just stick to their, just vote Democrat, there's no way he can win. No way.
Mhm.
I was talking about this earlier.
So Dominic Raab is facing an inquiry into 2 behavior complaints. There's had 2 behavior complaints made against him. And he's actually the one who requested this independent inquiry into this. Because Rishi Sunak is too much of a pussy to launch the inquiry himself. But apparently, it's quite well known in Parliament that he's a bully, that he bullies the civil servants that work for him, and some civil servants were crying, saying that they didn't want to work for him again.
It's really depressing that there are people in those positions that have to take that shit, because mostly, at least in the United States, the people that have those kind of jobs are trying to just give themselves something to build a resume so they can have a career later. But almost all of them are of enough means where they don't need that job and can tell that man to go fuck himself, but they're afraid to because they need a career.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's why he can stand over them and literally lord over them and bully them.
Yes, he doesn't have any 53-year-olds that have survived 3 heart attacks working for him, because we wouldn't take that shit.
Bullies, they pick and choose who they're gonna bully. So if you're intimidating, he wouldn't. There's a saying like, men who are aggressive towards women would never be that way towards another man. You know, so he's looking for a weaker opponent. I bet he has the stankiest breath on earth. I bet he gets in your face and just has death breath.
Yeah.
Do people still smoke 1 million cigarettes in the UK?
Some do, yeah.
When I went there 100 years ago, it was like everyone smoked. The little kids were smoking, dogs were walking around with cigarettes.
I bet he beat the dog.
But Dominic Raab looks like a bully. He looks like he looks like one of those sixth formers that would push your head into a toilet and flush and pull the chain.
Yes.
And steal your lunch money.
Absolutely. And he's still doing it now. And that's the problem, is that no one's ever checked him.
To me, he looks like the kid that I would have called Skeletor when we were halfway through secondary school.
Yeah.
There was
that's quite a bit of hair loss for a 17-year-old.
That can go both ways, though, because there was a young lady who had that nickname when I was in high school, and she literally moved to France and became a model, and she now hates all of us, and it's deserved.
That's what a friend of mine that I went to high school with that looked almost exactly like that by the time he graduated from high school.
But honestly, like, Dominic Raab looks like a bully, and so is my nemesis, Jacob Rees-Mogg, who shoves people.
He looks like he can't be made happy in normal ways.
I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of people. I can just see him, like, the door closes and you're sitting there and you're like, oh no, I'm in a room alone with this shrub right now, and he's gonna yell at me for no reason. he looks abusive.
Yeah.
I actually had this thought go through my head earlier today. One of my favorite things now is to have somebody that is older than me lose their shit with me and like literally lose control and start yelling at me. Because that's the point that I just calm the fuck down. It's that thing that a guy would do with a woman if he didn't want to survive the night. I just sit down and I'm emotionally detached from all of it, and I just let them yell, and then I go, "Oh, you're
But of course,
people being afraid when you."
I
do
live
that.
in the land of Karens.
You are not a white man. I am not afraid of you, old man.
yeah, but of course he's denying these accusations, and
Oh, of course. What?
he has said that he's confident that he's behaved professionally throughout. And,
He's famous for coming in every Monday with balloons and candy floss.
Okay, so he said he's acting appropriate by whose rules? Because that particular party has stepped on, spit on every rule that there is. Everybody else had to sit at home during COVID, and they're literally on the garden getting smashed.
Okay, well, obviously not those rules.
And I always jokingly say I'm a pirate, so rules are guidelines. Like, I get it, but when you get caught, you got to own up to it.
Yeah, no, my bad. That was actually a rule. I broke it.
I don't know. It's just like I said about Matt Hancock. It's just we used to look at our politicians with some sort of integrity because we believed the lie, and they were dumb enough not to let us know that they were weasels.
Sort of integrity.
Well, the thing is, like, when did they start broadcasting Parliament? Was that like 89, 90?
I can't remember exactly when they started to broadcast it.
It was the only reason I know this is because of No Job for a Lady. They talk about it all the time. So it was the late 80s, like early 90s when they started broadcasting it.
Way after C-SPAN.
Well, the problem is when politicians become real people, the veil is gone. They're just, on their phone going through Twitter in the bathroom like all of us.
Yeah.
But
I want to share some footage of what Tory MP Lee Anderson said in the House of Commons. I think it was earlier today. This is quite hilarious.
The shared issue, and the one thing that he can also.
I like beer.
Secretary, that the Deputy Prime Minister will be aware of a wicked and vicious bullying campaign led by the opposition to get us sacked over the past 4 weeks or so. So can the Deputy Prime Minister please reassure me and the people of Ashfield that the Home Secretary will be given all the tools that she needs to solve the migrant crisis and keep the bully boys out of number 10?
I mean, projection much? It's ridiculous.
You guys are, and it's so funny. I was about to say, you guys are so divided. So is America.
In at least 2 ways and headed towards 4.
Well, you know what? I can't say it brought my faith back, but I was like, wow, we may survive the last season. Because we definitely are on like season 25 of America.
Yeah,
and no one's watching anymore. No one's watching anymore. But like America is 50-50. If you look in all of the races around the country, it was like split half. So
reality came out on top, but only by the thinnest of cunt hairs.
Just by the hair of my chinny chin chin is still a win.
Just by depressingly little.
Like we used to say in baseball when I was a kid, man, a win is a win.
Yeah.
How ugly it was.
It doesn't matter if it came at the expense of another kid's left knee. We
won with a black eye.
Yeah, no, it was and that's in the sense that what they expected, what I expected didn't happen. That was heartening. But the fact that it was that close, that I have come to expect that somewhere between 36 and 38% of the United States is unbelievably stupid. Typically well, just coincidentally, that's the same number of people that are creationists in this country. And I literally think that's a coincidence because I don't think all creationists are as stupid in different areas. I just think that they represent the same percentage of the population, no matter what the fucking thing is. Somebody's stupid about physics. The earth is flat. And somebody is stupid about communications. They put microchips into the vaccines. And somebody is stupid. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm saying? It's just There's always going to be somewhere between 36 and 38% of a population that's just dumb as fuck.
You know what? The internet has really ruined that population, though, because they've grown, because they can communicate.
Oh, yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I used to think that it used to be like a 50-50 thing, that, 50% of us were okay and 50% of us were stupid. Yeah, I was wrong about the stupid thing.
I love you, Nerdy Rodent. And Stephanie Helm, in the year 2000, was that 99 or 2000? I voted for Ralph Nader, which means I inadvertently voted for George Bush.
Yeah, you were wrong.
But,
I would have smacked you in the dick, but I would have also said I'm sorry.
I would have said thank you if you took me out to dinner first.
Yeah, no, I just smacked you.
No, I did. I voted for Ralph Nader. I'm man enough to admit it.
No,
I was a kid. That was 20 something years ago. I was a kid.
Yeah, I was only 30.
It was never 35%.
I was only 31.
Do you know what I'm more scared of? Before we jump to the next story, really quick, I'm scared of all the idiots that are going to be wearing the MAGA 2024 garb that's made in China. I'm over it already. I'm just over it.
These are not people that recognize irony
at all.
Irony is a 3-letter or 3-syllable word to these people.
Oh, London loses position as most valuable European stock market. That's Enoch Powell's throwing up somewhere, even though he's dead.
Pound got down
This is
104 against the dollar.
But this is big, and we're heading into the biggest recession we've had for I don't know how
way faster than we are.
Yeah,
but, Biden.
Well, their population is smaller too, and if you think about it, that's why right now they're feeding all these distraction stories about Sorella Breverman, about immigrants, because they do the same thing in America. They fill us with all this busy work, not knowing that we're broke.
Well,
they do the same thing they do the exact same thing in America.
The Republicans say there's a crisis at the border, and the thing they're talking about is recently they stopped $400,000 worth of fentanyl make it into the country, and that's the crisis. Except they stopped it at the border.
Yeah.
Then they turn around, seize it, and sell it. That's the American way, though.
The thing is,
they take it down to Peru and sell it.
we were told by the Brexiteers that this wouldn't happen.
Yeah. Wow.
The British economy would remain strong. If anything, it will get stronger after Brexit.
I wish I could remember who it was.
I hate to laugh, but I got trashed in chat on YouTube when I was like, you guys are gonna become this is the beginning of the end. 6 years later, everything I said has become true.
I was just about to say the exact same thing. I was saying that I'd seen some English economist that explained in some detail exactly how it worked, that the largest capital owners in England would benefit in monumental ways by the removal of the limitations imposed upon them by the EU. But it was some obscene amount of profit that they stood to make, like almost double their money. And if you're a billionaire, that's a lot of money. And the next thing was to convince the country that what they'd done was wrong, and to get back into the EU no matter what it cost, because it wasn't coming out of their pockets.
But
I just wish I could remember who the fuck it was that told me that.
but of course, no Tory MP will admit that this has got anything to do with Brexit.
Yeah, no, that's completely unrelated.
Because they've invested billions of pounds into this. So they can't admit that they're wrong.
Yeah, your inflation shouldn't be as bad as ours, except for Brexit.
Yeah. But of course, you can't mention the B word. But and what makes it worse is that we've got a right-wing press. So it's very rare that a news anchor or anyone interviewing the Tory MPs will bring Brexit up. Brexit hardly gets mentioned.
That is true. They do treat it like Voldemort.
Yeah.
The name that shall not be spoken.
Yeah, don't mention the B word.
Yeah, exactly. I do watch a lot of British politics, and
It's the line from Airplane. It's not Brexit. It's booked.
But no, it's not Brexit.
But
It's the war it's Putin's war on Ukraine.
that has an absolute impact.
Hmm.
I mean, the most of the economic crisis is shared with pretty much every country in the world that participates in the world economy. Some of the lesser economies are less affected because if your currency's worth shit, inflation's not going to make much of a difference. But
I've noticed inflation here. Things have jumped. Our gas hasn't gone down. I put my card in and go like this.
how is it that we only have half of the politicians in the country that realize that the companies that are sustaining inflation are making record profits, and we're just like, you know what? If the Fed would just raise what we charge credit card holders for the debt that they're carrying, we could fix this.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I pay my cards off, please. Tax all those degenerates. Tax every single one of those degenerates.
My shit went from 13% to 17%.
I only use my credit card like I'm gonna have to buy a washer pretty
We
soon.
can have this conversation later, but I'm in trouble.
That's the only time I ever use my card. Like my washer's about to die, and I'm looking at it like, come on, Lieutenant Dan, don't die, don't die, Lieutenant Dan.
On the one hand, I have my mom who tells me that I should be grateful for the policies of Mr. Trump, and on the other hand, I have a Fed that thinks that the solution to inflation that it's in no way related to income growth. Just saying, you know what? We should get 50% or 5.5% done. Let's go to 1.5%. What do we have to get this to make inflation go away for the whole world? Because apparently that's what why do we have a Fed again?
The banner I'm flying right now is "We're all screwed."
Yeah. Talking of
the Western world, if you can hear me, we're all screwed.
That's a genuine question.
The more you know.
Yeah.
Do you know who sets in the United States? We have the federal, and they decide how much it costs banks to borrow money from the United States, which is funny because the United States borrows money. It's a whole fuck me and I'll jerk you off situation.
But I said this a couple weeks ago. Donald Trump did destroy that because he deregulated. I can't remember what it was, but he deregulated something. And Micronesia, all these countries that owed us money, they instantly paid it back because they all of a sudden couldn't afford it. So you screwed us over in a lot of ways. So there's a lot of countries who no longer owe us money.
Yeah, he took inflation out of the equation for debtors.
And he screwed over. We were owning those people, and now they're independent.
Yeah, it's really weird how there was a policy where going into it, Trump owed a shitload of money to Russian banks and oligarchs. And then after that, he didn't owe any money to the Russian banks or oligarchs anymore.
To be fair, though,
I don't know how the fuck that works.
There was a time where I had a large amount of debt, and then when I came into a decent amount of money, the first thing I did was pay off all my debt.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, if I could just get my parents to die willingly.
If I was president, I would do a bunch of janky stuff. I just wouldn't brag about it. Like every other president.
I swear I'm going to buy that bumper sticker. If I could just die willingly.
Finally. So Russia may have accidentally started World War III.
Turns out probably Ukrainians shooting American weapons at Russian missiles.
Right.
Yeah, it was the Russian missiles coming this way. Ukrainians go to shoot them down. They miss or don't reach the target and then end up falling into Poland and killing a couple people. And that's horrible. And all of it is the fault of the aggressor. But yeah, it turns out it wasn't their missiles.
Okay.
So we can fight World War III another day then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really glad that I missed all of that fucking spastic response to it. I wasn't on Twitter that day.
You know, it was on the opposite end of my sleep cycle, and I was like, you know what, I'm tired. So if I wake up and we're all still here, then crisis averted.
Yeah, I there was no way that was going nuclear because 2 people in Poland died. You're gonna have to hit a city center with something bigger than a fucking anti-air missile.
Yeah, but I've seen the devastation of American weapons. They would still do some damage.
Yeah, the fact that they would still do in a farmhouse.
Yeah.
All the indication that was necessary to. Why are you talking about World War? What the fuck? I'm so glad I missed that because that's so fucking stupid. If I'd have read too much of that shit, I would have developed a heroin habit just so I could.
Sky, Cade Burley on Sky News was saying, that missiles have been fired into Poland. Poland are going to trigger Article 5. All the countries in NATO are going to start a war with Russia. Oh, come on, stop scaremongering, Cade.
I'm not kidding you.
Here's the thing about having Biden as a president. Knee jerk isn't a possible reaction.
I was so
he has no quick twitch nerve.
I'm like a real life insomniac, and I've been trying to go to bed earlier, and I was watching what Mike was talking about. I literally turned off Sky News and started watching MacGyver. I was like, if it's the end of the world, what can I do about it? Like, there's nothing you can do at that point. You put your head between your legs. Hey, I've had a good run. I have no regrets. I'm surprised I'm still here.
Purple saying anti-air missile, so everyone in the area is suffocated.
Yeah. There is a bomb that does that, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Have you guys ever been to a place where there and this is a non-military question, where there's missiles everywhere? I've been to Israel and Egypt, and it's an eerie feeling where the military is the police.
Yeah,
because in America, like I've driven past convoys of the military, but I don't get an eerie feeling. It's a bunch of 19 and 20-year-old kids doing exercises, you know?
Yeah, the girlfriend's
BBC.
one of the girlfriend's twins just left Poland. I don't know, early this fall, and she made the comment earlier. I was like, I'm so glad he's not there right now. I was like, baby, that's nothing to worry about right there. Nobody's going into Poland. Nobody's gonna defend the honor. Maybe somebody will climb a water tower and paint their names on it, but nobody's going to launch nuclear missiles to make the corrective action to defend the people that lived at the bottom of a country road.
Just in modern times, we're in a real war, and I don't think people realize it. There is a real war going on. There's war crimes.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on right now. And because, and I can only speak for myself, I'm distracted. I live in the Western world. Take a look in this room. Like, I have a billion distractions, you know? I'm literally watching MacGyver and upcycling an old army jacket. I'm so tuned out, it's not even funny. And it's easy to do that in the Western world, you know?
It is, yeah. I'm watching The Crown at the moment.
I tried, but people whined so much, I just couldn't sit through it. I need to stop reading comments.
There are now more videos of people in Ukraine during recent combat. You can look up different kinds of weapons that are being used and see videos of that Ukrainian troops have made speaking English, talking about how they've learned to use these weapons and how they shoot them for an hour and a half and then they move so that they don't get killed.
Crazy. But it was never on our soil, Purple. That's what I'm saying. So as an American, I'm disconnected. We wage war. Yeah. Americans, we act like the British did 200 years ago. We wage war. But there's not one going on in the parking lot by your house is what I'm saying. And that's the difference.
It is true that the amount of regime changes that the United States has enforced has dropped dramatically in the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah,
because Reagan's not there. Reagan was pro-dictator.
No.
The Philippines, and then we had there was a lot of shit going on under Reagan.
Yeah. And on that literal bombshell, we're going to say good night. Thanks for coming, guys. And thanks to everyone in the side chat as well. I think at one point we had 13 people watching.
Oh, that's got to be
so.
14,
yeah, I think it is. Yeah. And so if you're new, do subscribe and hit the bell icon.
I usually wear those. I realize they're obnoxious.
So that you never miss another video. And until next time, bye for now.
I wear my sunglasses all the time. I don't want to do the copyright. I don't want to get